Hello, welcome to game 5 against Qsenoch. So, we start off here. Druid doesn't seem to be particularly exciting, but the rest of the board seems easy to play, honestly. Moneylender first to thin out your coppers, then you get border village hunting parties. There's lots of draw to Ranger, Smithy. You would want Ranger, I think, at least some, because it has plus buy. At the time, I didn't think Druid was any good, but I was wrong. Sun, Wind, and Moon. Usually not very good, I think, but here it is good. You'll see if you don't see already. Anyway, so I open Moneylender, could be Silver, but I think Expedition is better because, okay, worst case scenario, I draw 4 coppers and 3 shelters, right? And then I get a Quarry, which is very important for me. It helps me get to Border Village. That's worst case scenario, right? Worst case scenario, which isn't that bad. And I mean, really, how bad could it be? Like maybe I might get to 6, right? And I can get a border village with my quarry, which would be very nice, which would be best case scenario. Anyways, my opponent opens with the silver because they have 3-4 as opposed to 4-3. By the way, I drew all 3 shelters, which is fine because it means I get 6 here. And border village into hunting party, I think, is the way for me first. The hunting party isn't that great here because of the shelters. But I still went for it just because I don't want the Smithy to draw the Moneylender dead. And Hunting Party does draw, right? It does draw. And it'll skip coppers and help me find my Moneylender more quickly. So 3 here could be another Hunting Party, could be an Expedition. Checking Druid again. I will need plus buy, right, to really use this quarry to its fullest potential. But not now. I'll get it later. I think Hunting Party is better. The Expedition doesn't prove to be too promising. There's Necropolis and copper at the bottom of the deck, so that's not the greatest thing in the world. So I just decided to go for the hunting party. My opponent gets a druid, fine. He probably had a bad hand. I imagine he would want to take ranger instead of druid for the plus buy. Now 4 here, alright, second quarry is an option. Druid is an option, but I prefer the ranger, like I said. I much prefer the ranger. Aqueduct points might be a thing here, but I don't know. We'll see when that time comes. There's only one point on it now anyway, and I don't foresee a lot of points going there. So another border village hunting party for me. Very happy, very content to keep doing that for some time before adding rangers into the deck. 6 for my opponent here. He's gonna be a border village and something. I don't know what. I think border village and Smithy ends up taking here. I'm not sure. I don't think so. I think this is just hunting, but no, it's not. It's Smithy. It's Smithy because I remember having a lot more hunting parties than him. Yeah, so he chooses Smithy instead of hunting party there. I'm sticking with the hunting parties just because it's reliable, right? Just because it's reliable. So I do see plus buy and the quarry here. I am gonna go ahead and take more hunting parties, but this time I'll get a druid with it. So now I have 2 plus buys, which is very nice. And I have lots and lots of border villages to accompany those things. So here my opponent uses the druid to draw a couple cards, discard a couple cards, which is very good for him, but unfortunately didn't find any villages. Plays Smithy dead. And I think here he ends up going for his second quarry. I'm not sure if that's what he does here. This looks like a good place to... Yeah, he goes for the second quarry and a ranger. I thought it would have been border village, but he goes for the second quarry. Yeah, just get another hunting party. That is probably too much. Maybe that's a good place for me to get a second quarry, but whatever. Um, Especially knowing that I have the ranger coming that would draw me cards. So my opponent is starting to pile on the plus buy here, a couple rangers plus the druid. On the other hand, I'm able to throw everything here mostly because of the ranger. Although, well, I do have some overdraw here. Maybe, maybe I didn't need the ranger. Who knows? Anyway, so here I have to start thinking about how to build my deck Out of this druid doesn't do anything. There's nothing exciting about it. I will want a treasure trove at some point. At first, I was not seeing the point of the second quarry. I thought your main actions here was the hunting party, honestly. But then I realized, oh, with two quarries and plus buys, he can get villages, smithies, and rangers for free. The only limiting factor there now is a plus buy. So I guess that is what he's going for. Additional draw, mostly buys from the ranger. So here I have 7. Could think about the treasure trove, but I think it's a bit early for that. Instead, I go for quarry and an expedition here. So now I have the second quarry myself. I can start picking up, well, rangers primarily for free and adding draw to the deck that way. Not the greatest of hands for me here, given that I have 5 hunting parties in, and this is an expedition turn, but hopefully something good will come of it. Not the greatest of turns for my opponent as well here. I just playing the druid, so he's having some bad draws this game. Having some bad draws this game. Top deck something with moons, but he's able to get an expedition and a farming village out of that turn, which is decent. I do find some hunting parties, and we are off here. We are off. So my hunting parties, they're kind of skipping hunting parties, which is bad, and they're also drawing all these shelters, which is not so good. So here, okay, I realized I was thinking first that I could buy Border Village and gain treasure trove off of it, but with the quarries in play, that doesn't work the way I think it works, because Border Village, the cost of Border Village goes below treasure trove, so I can't do it. I have to pay all the $5 for the treasure trove here, which is too bad, but whatever. You have to do what you have to do, right? So drawing through everything here, I'm a little bit ahead now, just because I have the treasure trove. I feel like I have the actual money, and I'll have that advantage going into the end game here. So here I decided to do something cute with the druid. Decided to take the sun's gift. I knew there was a loaded ranger in the back. I didn't want to draw it because I had no reason to play it. Turns out there's a hunting party in the back as well, so I leave those 2 on top of the deck and just draw 2 with the hunting party, finding me the treasure trove. So hey, first use of the druid using sun's gift. That's nice. That's nice. I didn't think that was a thing, but okay, cool. And I am gonna start the province right away here, picking up ranger again. Now there's an extra plus buy, but also I can always keep my journey token green, as you see there on the bottom left. I can always keep it green. Apologies for that phone ringing. It'll go away soon. Anyways, so my opponent, here I believe he stops and he takes a treasure trove as well. So he's just like the half a turn behind. He does have a lot of buys compared to me though. A lot of buys compared to me. So that is something I have to watch out for. It means he has more pile control, but pile control doesn't really mean much if I have a lead. I also have an extra 2 points from the aqueducts, which is nice. So every time I play the treasure trove and buy a province, that's like 7 points off of that. He gets treasure trove expedition here. The expedition is nice, right? It helps prevent stalling. Helps prevent stalling big time. You could also use your druid for that, which is nice. Here, I don't know if I needed to do this. I probably could have done something better with this druid, but I decided to go ahead and top deck the quarry here, because the hunting party is not so good at finding the quarry if I already have one in hand. Turns out I draw the entire deck, so maybe I didn't need to do that. Maybe I could have used it to set up my next turn. But oh well. 11 now, so we're starting to creep up in money. Province, expedition, I can get, see, smithy, ranger, farming village, druid, all for free. So I decided to go for a farming village here and a smithy. They're all unique, so it makes it easier for the hunting party to find them. Especially the smithy is important, the one smithy there. Nice hand to start off with, given that I didn't set it up. So yeah, the smithy is especially important because the hunting party will find it, and I have lots of villages, so I'm not concerned about not having actions to play smithies. So here, I think my opponent draws his deck. He drew it last time as well, right? He drew it last time, but I'm 2 provinces up, and there's no way for him to get more money than me, more quickly than me is what I'm saying, or is what I mean. So here he does a nice trick, right? Use the Windsgift, discards 2 hunting parties, plays farming village to draw one of them and top deck the other. Something I will copy on my next turn, setting up his next turn, which is nice. He now starts to go after the provinces here. He does something strange. He buys an estate here. I don't know why he bought an estate here. I really don't know why. Maybe he was thinking about some pile out opportunity near the end here because, I mean, okay, the border villages will gain all the hunting parties and then there's just rangers left. So maybe that extra point might help him in some scenarios. I didn't see it. But again, I didn't see the leprechaun line in the first game, right? So what do I know? Nothing. Anyway, I just have to try to be very, very careful here and not miss anything. Because I would really hate to lose this game on piles through some nonsense that I overlooked. So here I'm drawing everything again, and I am going to try to set myself up for a win on my next turn. And the way to do that is I am going to go ahead, pick up 1 province here, but with the remainder of my buys, I am going to lower the piles enough to a point where I can empty them the following turn. So I'm just checking here, making very, very sure that my opponent cannot get even 14 points on me and empty the piles. I know he only has 6 buys from his last turn and he did not get any more buys. So the play here, I have what I think is enough of a points cushion. I'm gonna buy 1 expedition and 1 border village gaining a ranger, and then I'll buy another ranger. So that'll leave the piles low enough for me to empty them next turn. And I'm setting myself up nicely, or as best as I can anyway, for the next turn. I've put a hunting party on top of the deck. I've bought an expedition, so that is about as much as I can do here while trying to win on my next turn. Um, Alternatively, I don't have to do that. I could just play the game where I take more points than my opponent, but then we get into some strange territory, like he'll buy a province next turn, and then I don't think I could double province. Maybe I can. Maybe double province is safe next turn. I'm not sure. But I didn't want to have to calculate that way, so I just decided to take the win, the immediate win, rather than the longer win. Because you never know what could happen, right? You could get some bad draws and everything just falls down. So I decided to try for the win on this turn where this is as good as a setup as I'll give myself for this entire game, right? Could be double expedition, but doesn't help me to end the game. I only have what, 4 buys? Yeah, I only have 4 buys. I need more than that. So after a lot of thinking, apparently, you'll see me make the expedition one. So the expedition is for sure, right? I am gonna buy the expedition. It's just to make sure, make very, very sure that there's no haggler gain, no leprechaun gain, no any kind of gain, no any kind of points coming from anywhere that my opponent can use to sneak out with a win here, because I've felt like I've held the advantage from the very beginning of this game, and I if I let it slip, well, it'll one feel bad, and two, that's the end of the match, right? That is the end of the match. So border village ranger and then second ranger, I think is safe. And well, as it turns out, it is safe. It is safe. So my opponent does have a full turn on his next turn, but he's not able to, sneak out the win anywhere. So I did calculate correctly this time. What he ends up doing is buying a province, of course. I think he gets a duchy too, I'm not sure. But he gets a second money land and a few extra coppers to try to increase his money output for the next turn, should I stall. This is not a great hand, right? I don't have any of my draw cards, so hopefully I see one of them soon. I could not, right? I could easily not be able to do so. Yeah, so province, duchy, and moneylender, some number of coppers. He has a lot of draw, right? He has what, 4 rangers or something? I do too now, but if will I see them? Is the big question. Will I see them? Who knows? Who knows? He didn't have an opportunity to set up his deck there, so that is something at least, and he doesn't have money for an expedition now. But as it turns out, I do find my draw cards after a couple of initial shaky draws. I do play the border village first because hunting party finding border village is fine. It still moves forward in the deck. If I don't play the border village, the hunting party will skip the border villages, which, I mean, it doesn't really matter. Yeah, so I skipped past a hunting party, which is not good. Border village, looking for draw. I think this one finds an Acropolis, so still nothing. But yeah, okay, Ranger is here, and that's probably enough. Okay, so we take game 5 to bring the score to 3-2. Still need to win 2 in a row to win this match. Um, I don't know. I was still feeling kind of flat despite winning 2 in a row here. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.